Dana White and Joe Rogan are arguably two of the most popular faces within the UFC. With them not being associated with winning or losing fights, I think their UFC card values should remain over time. And here are what I think are their 3 best cards. Okay, so first up for Dana White, we got the 2009 Topps UFC Round 1 Dana White Rookie. So as everybody knows by now, the 2009 was the first year that UFC cards were released. So this is the Round 1 Dana White True Rookie. This is a PSA 9. I got this card about 6 months ago, maybe a year ago. And for people that I want to have cards of, I want to have the true rookies. I think that, everybody can agree that that's where the value is. That's where the collectability is. That is that person's best card. And this is Dana White's. I've seen recently Panini dropped some sticker autos of him and some autos that he has. I think he's in Immaculate as well, I believe. And, of the Dana White cards to have, this is definitely one of what I think are the 3 best cards. Anytime you can get a rookie and a true rookie, I think you need to chase after that. I want to say these are going for around $125. So man, still reasonably priced for the figure that Dana White is. If we think about Bo Nickel rookies and what those are going for, like as celebrity, as popularity, as far as greatness of the UFC is concerned, like Dana White has to be one of the most influential figures of all time. I mean, he obviously helped create the league that is the UFC. So this is a rare opportunity where, you can buy into somebody that's not going to really fluctuate with their career. Like, it is what it is. It's cemented. He helped create the biggest MMA promotion that there is on the face of the planet today. So I think it's just a unique opportunity to buy in. And, these also have the silver of 288 and the gold parallels. So those are, something you can look for if you want to try and get this card. This is just a base right here. These round 1s are very tough to grade. A 9 is pretty dang good on these. So I was happy with a 9. You're definitely going to pay a heavy premium if you want to get a 10. But here's the 2009 Topps UFC Round 1 Dana White. Be sure to like and subscribe and comment below. If you could have one card from this video, which would you pick? All right, coming in at card number 2, we have the 2017 Topps Museum Collection Framed Auto. I don't have this card, but when I was looking up all of Dana White's cards, this was definitely what I thought was one of the best looking cards. And this is Dana's first ever on-card auto. It's a really premium card with the frame bordering the card. I'm pretty sure this is his first on-card as well. And the design with the silver ink and the frame around the card make it a super attractive look. Probably the nicest auto that I could find of his also. So if you really are in search of an auto, I think this is definitely one of the Dana Whites that you should look at getting. And coming in at number 1, the number 1 card I would want if I could afford it was the 2010 Topps Round 4 Thoughts from the Boss auto with John Jones. And this is an of 25. So like I said, this is probably my favorite Dana White card. If I had to get any card of his, it would be this Thoughts from the Boss. Now, price, it is pretty expensive, but when you have arguably one of the greatest fighters of all time and the face and the founder of the UFC on the same card, I think that's one that I would love to have. With only 25 of these made, the rarity is off the charts, and there's just a ton of UFC history in this one card. So I would put that as the number 1 card from Dana White. All right, and next up we have one of the voices of the Octagon, the great and powerful Joe Rogan. He's not directly involved with the behind the scenes of the UFC, but with his celebrity status and with him being an advocate for the UFC for years, as well as being a voice at very influential pay-per-views and having one of the biggest platforms in the world with his podcast, I think Joe Rogan UFC card is one that is very important to collectors, and I think one that's going to age very well also. And first up at number 3, we have the 2009 Topps UFC Round 1 Joe Rogan. And again, this is basically the same, it's from the same set as the Dana White that I have. It's his true rookie. And this is a SGC 9. And with this black bordering on the card, this is a tough grade, man. Like a 9 is pretty big. I saw a couple 10s actually, which really surprised me because I hadn't seen 10s before, and somebody on Instagram actually had a 10, which I thought was pretty amazing. But a lot of the same things that I like about the Dana White, I also like about this same card with the Joe Rogan. You know, it's the true rookie. You know, 2009 is the first licensed year for UFC cards. Super tough grade with a 9. You know, this one again comes with the silver of 288 or the thick gold, which I think has an estimated print run of about 400 to 500 on the golds. So if you want a little more rarity, you can go to those. But again, the thick cards are super hard to grade. The price around this one, I think you can find it in 9s around 300. You know, but it's really it fluctuates a lot with Joe Rogan's cards depending on who's going after it. I've seen some go for like 500. The SGC is going to be a little cheaper, but I think that's a good buy if you're trying to get one for your PC. And coming in the list at number 2 is the 2010 Topps UFC Round 4 Ruby of 8. When I was checking the listings and all that, this is one of the lowest print run of Joe's cards that I could find. So while not quite as cool as the True Rookie 2009, I think this is definitely one that needs to be in consideration if you're on the hunt for Joe Rogan cards. The print run being of 8 is pretty insane, and aesthetically it's about the same as the True Rookie with the red border. Right now this one is listed for $5,000 on eBay. And last but not least, at number 1 on the list of what I think are the coolest Joe Rogan cards, we have the Upper Deck Prominent Cuts 101 Joe Rogan Auto. And this was actually posted by the one and only Card Father, UFC Card Father. And I think this is the only ever Joe Rogan Auto. So this is an incredible card. It is insane, the rarity. I guess Joe just doesn't want to sign, which, you know, leads this to be an astronomical card eventually when it sells. This one is probably a little harder to value, obviously, because it's not a UFC card. It's basically just Joe Rogan memorabilia. But since Rogan is kind of tied to the UFC, I feel like you can kind of still list it in the same category, you know. But since it's 2009 and it's a 101 auto, this is a absolutely massive card. Potentially this card was made before the actual UFC Topps run. So kind of something to think about. It's not, it doesn't look like a sticker auto to me. It looks like it's actually on card or like embedded in the card. So that's pretty sweet. I couldn't find any Joe Rogans, so this one's insane. Fact check me if you find other news to that, but when I was looking, this is the only Joe Rogan autograph that I could find. Thanks for watching, everybody. Be on the lookout for future videos from me and Eric. It is 2024 Topps Chrome season, and we're going to be looking to open up a hobby box and hopefully get our hands on every Topps product from 2024. I'd like to rip at least one of every product just to kind of get hands-on with the cards and see what they're like. So if you're still watching, thank you very much. Go ahead and subscribe to our channel for future UFC card content just like this.